Good afternoon from a Thursday afternoon from Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire. I have the great pleasure of speaking with Alison Morton today from, I understand, an hour south of the lovely Loire Valley,
That's
La,
absolutely
La
right.
France. So I should say bonjour, comment ça va
Bonjour.
aujourd'hui? My French is I say I've lost it.
Ah,
J'oublie français,
j'ai tout
j'oublie les mots.
oublié. J'ai tout oublié.
I have l'école French, and I can't remember what evening. Can't even remember what evening classes are. So that's my
Yeah,
deficiency back in the day.
wouldn't be so much evening classes, but like, j'ai même pas eu des leçons de français.
Oh yeah, oui. L'école noire. No, noir is black, isn't it?
Noir is black.
Evening.
Du
Anyway,
soir. Du
anyway,
soir.
ce
Yeah.
soir. Yes. Anywho, we're here to talk about Les Libres.
We are.
Your two livres, your books.
My deux séries de livres. Or if you want to be
Livre, livre.
you can be terribly colloquial and say bouquin, which is
Oh,
slightly slangy.
okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Bouquin. I
Bouquin.
like that. Yes. No, I get it's the same word for pound, the same word and books.
Ah, different
Livre.
gender. Un livre,
Uh,
une livre. But then you're looking at
okay.
historical, like Louis the 15th or something,
Right.
or something
Right.
set in the past. Yeah,
Okay.
pre-revolution.
But you actually go further back than that, so we will be talking about your genre.
Oh, yeah,
But
indeed.
going back in your history, can you remember the first thing you wrote, or the first thing that sticks in your head as early writing?
Oh, this is bad. I can remember as a 7-year-old writing a story where I was the princess, obviously.
Obviously, yeah,
Obviously, I was the
holiday.
princess. And there was a big problem of some sort. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was all about.
Right.
But I had to go and rescue and I had to succeed in the quest, and I did, and everybody loved me. I mean, that I was age 7. This is what we do. We're
Yeah.
all princesses at age 7, if we're girls, usually. So that was the very first bit. And I remember I took it to school because you had to write a story of some sort, and that was okay. I didn't get a gold star. I think it was either a silver or a red star. I can't
Mm.
remember. So that was the very first.
Oh,
The first sort of semi-sensible bit of writing was when I was in the upper six, so I'd be 17, 18, and I put it into an essay competition and got nowhere. But I still got it, and I found it the other day when I was looking out some archives, and that was horrendous.
oh,
It was awful.
oh. I like the fact though that as a 7-year-old you knew that you had to, as the main character, had to solve the problem,
Oh yes.
had
Oh
to
yes.
finish the quest.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very astute.
Oh well, problems are there and you have to solve them. But yeah, I knew that, and I was going to be the lead character. You're a very self-absorbed person at that age,
Mm,
and you're the center of the universe,
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So roll on a few years.
Yes.
When did you start writing, thinking that you could be a writer? And because I was in my late 30s before it even dawned on me.
Ah,
And I
right.
was I
Okay.
was reading big Stephen King's. I'd say I
Mm.
blame Stephen King for me wearing glasses because I'd be under the duvet with a torch when I
Oh
should have been
yes,
sleeping
always,
as a
always.
teenager.
Yeah.
And then my dad knew Roald Dahl and he did photography for him, including
Mm.
Sophie Dahl's sixth birthday party,
Ah.
which I think that my mum recorded over the my dad's version of the video with probably Olympics diving. She was
Oh, right.
heavily into
Okay.
Olympic diving, and it still didn't occur to me that that could be a profession to actually be a
Yeah.
writer.
I mean, I was an avid reader, but I mean, I'd been a career translator, and I've employed 100 people. I set up and ran my own translation company, and I sold it because we were preparing to move to France permanently.
Mm.
And when you finish one thing and you're moving your life, there's an awful lot to do.
Mm.
And we used to go to what used to be called Orange Wednesday. I don't know if it still exists in the UK, where you can go 2 for 1 on the
Oh,
Wednesdays to
okay.
the local
Yes, it's
Odeon.
EE now.
Oh, right,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so we used to go in the posh seats, which were normally very expensive, but we go 2 for 1.
Mm.
And the local Odeon had 12 screens. So we thought, well, we'll find something. 7 o'clock, roll up to the Odeon.
Uh-huh.
It's, oh, I forgot because my son had left school. It was half term and it was all Smurfs and Transformers. And I think, oh, God.
Right.
Anyway, we were out with there and I said, oh, that one. I said, well, let's go and see that. I mean, it may not be very good, but
Mm.
it's set in Rome and it does have a rather dishy male lead
Right.
star. And my husband said, yeah, anyway, whatever. So
Yeah.
we sat in there and the photography was beautiful. It was set in modern Rome. I
Mm.
mean, I love Rome. So, and it was beautifully done.
Mm.
But the narration, the flow of the story was terrible.
Oh,
And we both read the book, one of those airport reads, you may
right.
guess.
Sure.
And I turned to him and said, do you know, I could do better than this.
It's funny
And
how often I hear that.
well, he said to
Somebody's read
me, well, why
something.
don't you? And of
Yeah.
course, I'd sold my business. I had no more. And I sat down at the computer,
Mm.
and for the next 90 days, I typed, and I had 90,000 words.
Wow.
And what the hell do I do with this? Anyway, that was the first, that became eventually Inceptio. After a long 3 years learning how to write books,
Mm.
learning about the publishing world,
Mm.
going on courses, going to classes,
Sure.
getting a mentor, all that sort of stuff that people do.
Yes.
So it's not scribble down the words or bash them out on the computer and then off you go.
Yeah.
It's a long, long path to getting it and good enough to be published and to ask people for money for.
Yeah.
So it was a trigger. Um, I'd sort of had all these ideas bubbling away in the brain,
Mm.
but I've been busy with life.
Mm.
And this trigger, off we went. And having been a translator and also done other things, I'd always written,
Mm.
but usually more reports, government papers, military reports, EU stuff, corporate documentation, really excitingly
Oh,
interesting things.
yeah.
Non-creative, but translation is quite a creative thing because you have to find absolutely the right word or expression.
Mm.
Like you do with creative writing, it's got to be right or it's not right. It is
Like,
one way or the other.
yes.
So that was quite good training. So that's how it started.
Plus, it gives you deadlines. And have you translated any of your books into?
No. Oh God, I couldn't do them because I'm going at professional translators only go into their own language.
Okay.
I can obviously
Yeah.
write reasonably. My first degree was languages, and it's not a problem. But
Mm.
I would never do a literary translation out of my native language.
No.
So anybody that says they can, jolly good luck.
Right. Yeah, you would. You would. I know from visiting Germany. That's my sort of second language. I say second language, but when you hear it around you, it's not too bad
Mm.
if it's within context. But then when I sit with my friend's family and they're all
Oh yeah.
and I understand every few words and that's about it. I
Mm.
get
Mm.
enough to have the context, but
I
when you're
mean,
out and about
yeah.
shopping and things, you can work
Difficult,
with it.
yeah. I mean, I always quote this one at people, and I say, well, if I said in English, here's one I made earlier,
Mm.
or here's one I prepared earlier, whichever version you instantly see a little ship and you hear
Yes, yeah,
to
exactly. Blue
somebody
Peter.
who's not been brought up in Britain,
No,
not like clue. Now
no,
they call those cultural connotations.
yes,
I don't know, although I've been in France a long time and I've went to school partly and a student here, I still don't know all of those.
no,
And so I could fall mightily into the mess
right,
if I tried. So no, I would always get a French a mother tongue
sure,
translator.
sure.
It's quite an expensive thing to do.
Mm,
And we, as authors, we are very, very lucky as the English speaking population in the world is huge.
absolutely.
So,
Yes,
mm, I'll think about it.
yes. So you finished your first book in 90 days, and then to 3 years.
it's rubbish, you know.
Right. Oh, they aren't they? I've done NaNoWriMo. The
Oh, yeah.
those two and that one
Right.
are my first three NaNoWriMos. And
Mm.
certainly with the serial data, I wrote 116,000 words in 28 days just because
Wow.
it all splurged.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful, although I wasn't grateful at the time, but my careers advisor back in the 80s said, well, you're female, you can either be a nurse or a secretary, and
Oh, that's
you're
it.
not clever enough to be a nurse.
Oh,
So go and be a secretary. So I did. I didn't know what else I wanted to do. So
no.
I did. But it meant that I could type really quickly. So it all just splurged and I'm better off. And I don't know if you find with your handwriting now whether you're slower with your
Oh, well, I'm a
handwriting
shocking
because you're used to
typist.
typing. Oh,
I'm
are
a,
you?
I can do it because I went into civil service when I left uni
Mm,
on the graduate entry scheme, and one of the first things they did was send you off on a typing course.
okay.
Because if this was in the 70s, heaven help us,
Right.
if you were you were generally trained to be appointed to ministers' offices or heads of big heads of big government departments. If the
Sure.
minister needed something typing at 7 o'clock at night, the typing pool
Right.
had
Yes.
gone home.
Ah,
And so everybody who aspired to go to the higher levels had to learn to type, at least enough to do a letter or a paper or a parliamentary answer quickly.
sure.
And the boys hated it.
Right.
They absolutely, oh, that's what we got a typing pool for. Not at
Yeah.
7 or 8 o'clock at
No,
night.
exactly. No,
So,
lucky
yeah,
you're still there.
I learnt
Really.
that, but
Mm.
because I didn't practice very much, because I have my own secretary mostly,
Mm.
I lost it a bit. But now I can, I
Yeah,
manage.
just practice. Anything
Yeah,
is practice,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
So you finished the after 3 years, your book is ready to
Yep.
send off. Who sees it first?
My critique writing partner.
Oh,
Now, I'll give you, sorry, stories, isn't it? It's all
all
stories.
right.
Perhaps that's why I'm a writer. I don't know.
Yeah.
This friend and I, well, we knew each other sort of in the Chamber of Commerce. She'd
Mm.
set up and run a small chain of estate agents, about 6 or 7, and she'd done very well because she offered service, personal service, and she was really caring. In fact, she sold my house when we left UK. And I knew her sort of, and I had my business, and we every month there used to be an introduction evening run by the chamber, and if you went along as a sort of a host, you
Mm.
got in free, free glass of wine, why not? So I
Absolutely.
said to Denise, I said, "Are you going to the business exchange, which is what this is called, business exchange?" Because one of us would drive and one of us could drink.
Mm.
Very responsible. Because I said, well, I'll drive this time because you drove last time. And she says, oh, I can't go. Oh, and she said, I'm going to Hamburg. I said, oh, I
All
said,
right.
right, are you starting to sell German property? So that was my, because she's quite enterprising.
Right.
No, 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 I'm going on research. I said, well, what? Talk to me. And I didn't know her super well then.
Mm.
And she said, oh, yeah, I'm just going on a boat to Hamburg. I said, going on a boat? What's wrong with the aircraft?
Yeah.
I just went on. She was shifty, and she's not a shifty person.
Right.
And she said, well, I'm writing a novel. I said, you're doing what?
Oh,
I'm writing a novel.
right.
Really? And she blushed.
Right.
And I
Oh,
said, well, funnily enough, Denise, I've just written one. And so she said, you must come to my novel writing circle. I said, what's that? Yeah, I had no idea. And she said she just started it as split off from the writing, local writing, into a poetry and a novel and
yeah.
various different.
Sure.
Oh, and she said, "Oh, you have to read out the first chapter."
Yeah.
I said, "That's not happening."
Right.
I said, "Oh my God, no, I can't do that."
Yeah.
I, Morgan, I have given talks for 1,000 people at the Kent Chamber of Commerce National, the big conference. I don't
Yeah.
care about that.
Yes.
Read my words,
Yeah.
my baby out. Anyway, whatever I did.
Yeah.
So together we went on this journey, if you like. We joined this, went to that,
Right.
did everything, and we're still critique writing partners.
Lovely.
And she sees but I see she writes Second World War sagas under a pen name for HarperCollins.
Nice.
So, totally different from
Yes.
mine.
Yes.
And we exercise what we call brutal love. And we know each other really well. And
Mm.
similar characters, and we say it as it is.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's what we need
we
because
know each other's characters. And I say, no, 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 so and so wouldn't say it like that. And
yeah,
she says, no, Karina or Mélisende wouldn't do
yeah,
that. And
yeah, yeah. The
it's
thing is,
weird.
we'd much rather somebody we know say that
Oh,
than
yeah.
a random person leaving an Amazon
Oh,
review
God, yes.
because then
Yes.
it's there forever.
She's very good on the emotional side and the internal reaction. Well, she
Mm.
writes sort of sagas which have a strong romantic interest, and
Sure.
I'm much better on the history.
Right.
So she's quite good, but I'm better on the history and on movements and time and stuff. So we
Yeah.
complement each other.
Yeah. So why did you decide to go if I mean, she writes something different, but she's traditionally published.
Yeah,
So what made you go self-publishing? Did you
but
try?
it's very much tied up with the genre
Mm,
because I I write alternate history thrillers.
mm,
And that's a story that I was triggered. Another trigger was Robert Harris's Fatherland, which
right.
I knew you could twist history. And I thought, oh, I can have a Roman heroine in the 21st century. Now,
Mm.
there's a hell of a lot of world building there if you want to get
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I send it in, and they say, yeah, really good writing, very intelligent,
Mm.
great, publishable standard, but I can't find anywhere on my list.
Can't place it.
I
No.
don't know how to market this. This
Right.
is really good. Have you thought of contacting somebody else? They'd say.
Yeah.
Now, is this all excuses? I don't think so.
Right.
And
Not if they suggested somebody else you can contact. That's
exactly.
unusual.
Now,
Yeah.
in my 3-year journey, I met Carol Blake,
Oh
the
yes.
agent's agent, and we
Yeah.
went. Let me just say it, put it politely. We were. She was quite a boozer, and we went
Oh,
drinking
she's
together
lovely.
quite a
Yeah, she
lot.
was lovely. I did with her and Jane Wenham Jones. Sadly, neither of them are with us.
No,
We used to do Ask the Agent. So Carol, well, we'd invite. It was a yearly thing at Chipping Norton Literary
right.
Festival.
Oh yes, I did one of there somewhere.
Oh, did he?
Sometime. Yeah.
And so we used to get Jane used to get in the submissions, and in early years she would go through them all, but then in
Mm,
later years I went through them,
mm.
and then pick out 10 that would then
That
go
we
to
can go forward.
Carol
Yeah.
Blake. Yes,
Yeah.
and then
But
she would pick out three, I think, and
yeah.
they'd be invited. So the top 10 would be invited to the event. And then
Mm.
Carol would give the feedback, and
Give the
these
feedback.
terrified people would
Of
sit in the
course they were
front row.
terrified. She was terrifying.
Yeah.
But we used to meet a lot outside and I said, well, I'm not submitting my stuff to you, Carol, because it's just
Yeah.
not your list. I mean, I know this.
Yeah.
And we used to go, shocking. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Well, she's
and she
Peter
was
James is was one of
yeah,
was one
and
of them.
Lara, his wife, is delightful.
Yeah.
Delightful. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So we'd go around and go to the Harrogate Festival and the H and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And she signed me up to do my overseas and ancillary rights. And they did sell 4 of my books to Audible for
Okay.
the audiobooks. In fact, I get
Yeah.
my rights back this year. That's good.
Okay.
And she bought every book and she put it on her Facebook and say, this is a writer to watch and all that. And
Wow.
Denise reckoned she was going to try and get all of my books because
Right.
I said, oh, no, no, I want to be independent because I want to do this. And I
Mm.
thought, I've run a business. I know what it's like. I can work with teams of people.
Mm.
That's what I used to do all
Yes.
the time. And I
Sure.
can choose. And I thought, no, very few people want to try and publish alternate history thrillers,
Mm.
even though Robert Harris had obviously done very well, but he was
Yeah.
established anyway.
Exactly.
So I thought, well, no, I can do this myself. I know it means marketing and all the rest. I want a
Yeah.
professional product.
Yeah.
So I commissioned Silverwood Books, who are a publishing services company,
Okay.
not a vanity publisher, a
Mm.
publishing, which is a big difference. I would talk
Absolutely.
forever on that.
Yeah.
And they taught me how to do everything, I'll show you, how to set a book out, title,
Mhm.
copyright, about the author, yeah, proper copyright and the rest of it. And I still use that model today.
Mm.
And after a few books, the director, Helen Hart, said, do you know, you don't need us anymore.
Right.
And of course, Vellum had just
That's a
come
good
in for
thing to say.
publishing software. That
Yeah,
was it.
right. Yes, I've just recently bought Atticus to
Oh, that's a
redo
Word. That's a
my,
Microsoft
yes,
one. Yeah, yeah.
very similar.
I mean, they were
It
very
goes
good
the
to
same.
me, Silverwood. They,
Oh,
I launched one of my books at London Book Fair that under their aegis.
okay.
And I would recommend anybody who doesn't know anything about publishing and all the rest, if you
Yeah,
want your handheld, they were very,
right.
very good.
I'm gonna have to contact them then for the nuts and bolts because July and October are the nuts and
Mm.
bolts of
Right,
publishing. My all day ones.
you're right. Helen
So
Hart.
good.
Do you
Okay.
know her?
I don't. No, I'm just
It's
writing it down.
HART and
Okay.
just silverwoodbooks.co.uk.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll drop a
Yeah.
line. Thank you.
And there's only about two ethical companies that I would recommend to anybody, and they're one
Oh,
of them.
okay. And the other
Yeah.
one?
Troubadour, Matador.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one's which now.
Well, I think they've dropped the Matador now. I think
Oh,
they're
right.
just
They're all
Troubadour.
true. Yeah.
Yes, I
But
go to
those are the only two.
their conference
Yeah.
in September. I went there
Yeah.
last September. Been there a few times.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So, did they help you design your covers
Your
as well?
first ones, yes, the
Mhm.
first series, not the current ones. These are
Right.
all ones I've commissioned because I
Okay.
wanted to change.
Yeah.
Changing covers is can be risky, but I felt they early ones were very good to start with,
Mhm.
but things change. So
Absolutely.
I wanted
They
something a
really
little bit
do.
more dramatic.
Yes. So, how did you
Um,
find your cover designer?
oh yeah, that's a good.
Mhm.
I wanted a professional. I didn't want a £5 fiver cover
Mhm.
designer. All due respect to people that do that, but
Yeah.
having been in a professional environment for much of my life,
Mhm.
I knew that I needed somebody who knew what they were doing. And we've all seen terrible covers. We've all seen absolute, you're never going to pick that book up off the shelf, are you, ever?
Yeah.
I wanted something dramatic, and I got Jessica Bell Design to do it
Oh
for
yes,
me.
heard of
I
yes,
know Jessica quite
yes.
well.
I think
And
Dave Sivers uses her.
yeah,
Rings a
and
bell.
this is
Yes,
talk about dramatic. When I got that first through,
right. Yeah,
that's dramatic.
yeah.
That's the heroine. And she did this. This is a little bit sci-fi, yet still reminding you it might be a bit Roman as
Absolutely,
well.
with the Colosseum.
Yeah, I got the
Yes,
Colosseum in the mountains for
yes.
Roma Nova, which is in a mountainous place.
Right.
So she did those. And then when I went all thrillery, she
Ah,
kept to the
yes,
thriller, the sans serif, the
yes.
very strong colours.
Sure.
Um, the heroine, I wouldn't want a little black figure walking into the distance, like
No,
a lot of them
that's the
are.
finale. Yes. Well, I think I don't know whether it was Gone Girl or one of the girl on a. It wasn't Girl on a Train. It might have been Gone Girl.
Hmm.
Started off that trend of, and it was often in a
Yeah,
red or yellow jacket,
yeah,
walking away from. Yes.
yeah. But this half shadow apparently is quite popular, quite a good
Okay.
trend. So
Yeah.
fine.
Well,
She's an expert.
I think it was initially having people walking away, A, for not having to pay. There's a certain rights for using somebody's face.
Yes, you have to pay for it.
Yeah. And also not giving the reader too much of this is what your character looks like. If you can't see
Hmm.
the front,
Hmm.
then it's a bit like Lee Child's his
Yeah.
Jack Reacher, although as we all know, he's Alan Richson rather than
Yes.
Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Although I like Tom Cruise's versions, I
Yeah.
prefer.
Alan Ritson is definitely,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Anyway, so that's
yeah,
yeah, I use and I do the same for editing. I use somebody who's a member of the Society for Editing or Chartered Institute now they are, I
right,
forget, editing and proofreading because I want somebody that's trained and know what they do.
yeah, yeah,
So that's how I've always gone about it.
yeah.
You have to save up your pennies, of course.
You do, sadly, but you get the thing is, we want to be proud of our babies, don't we?
Yes.
We
And
want
the
to
thing,
send them off to university knowing that we've done our best.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
also when, especially at the beginning, you want to produce something that's as professional, as good as, or better,
mm,
hopefully, than the traditional product.
mm,
Because the worst thing you want to appear is amateurish.
yes,
And I think certainly at the beginning in 2013,
Mm.
There was a lot of sneering going on about indie publishing, and the top ones set out to prove that it wasn't rubbish, if you see what I mean.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've talked about um, your journey to this point. You've got your books done. You've got your professional editor, your professional cover designer.
Mm.
Um, do you have anybody to help you with your marketing? Or is that this is where, see, in my prompts list underneath my, which you would think by number 64, my 64th spotlight, that I wouldn't
Yeah.
need it, but it's always my comfort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. It's
I
good.
have best and worst, and I've never needed to specifically ask that question because you can tell when people's faces light up at certain things they say that they enjoy that aspect of it. And then
Right.
generally, when I mention marketing, the shoulders slump or they laugh the way you're
Yeah.
laughing, because that's the downside to going it alone is you're
Yes and
semi
no,
alone.
because it depends. I mean, we are masters of our own universe.
Mm,
And if you don't tell somebody about your product, how do they know? And
yeah,
I remember that from running my own business. You have to tell people, you have to get yourself out there and
mm,
not be shy about it.
mm,
And you have to support the whole thing. You know, it's the old one rising boat brings the others up. I can't remember the exact
yeah,
saying. And
yeah,
you have to be professional in your way, not, oh, hello, glad to meet you, buy my book. I mean, that's
yeah,
really awful. And that used to happen.
yes,
And you have to sort of be interesting and interested and act in
mm,
a very professional way. And I found that's really helped.
mm,
Marketing, well, there's sort of three phases. There's once your book is there, you've done all your very best with your editing and your cover and blah, blah, blah. And you think you've written a really great book. And obviously, we're all ready to go.
yeah,
And then I do pre-order.
mm,
And in that pre-order period, I'm cajoling, I think, or coaxing all my friends to write me an early review,
right,
and sending them an advance copy and say, look, please, 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 can I come on your blog and all the rest of it? And I've over the years, I've built up a reasonable list. But of course, it changes. Some bloggers stop, some people were busy, whatever.
yeah,
And then the next thing is the buzz on your own blog, on social media, and all that. And you've got to keep at it. You can't go, oh, I can't be bothered. You
yeah,
can't do that. You've got to do pictures, you've got to do little articles, get
mm,
them going, newsletter,
yeah,
get that out. And then come launch day, a bit of a buzz, little video.
mm,
Hopefully, some of your friends will then post their reviews.
mm,
And then you've got the Amazon love, as we call it, for 90 days when they will
yeah,
actually support you. So you've got to get on with it.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. But doesn't it all take so much time?
oh, it takes huge amounts of
Yeah,
time. And you have to realize you will not be doing any writing during that period.
yeah,
You will be sitting there at the wretched computer
yes,
or perhaps doing some videos or interviews or whatever.
sure,
That is what you will be doing in that, well, say 3 weeks before and 4 months afterwards.
mm,
And really going for it. And then once you've got past that launch bit, you've just got to keep going, not harassing people, but oh, look at this lovely review that's come in, or
exactly.
here I am with
Somebody
blog at
else, somebody
the
else says my
festival.
book is good. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I'm really thrilled. And then you do another little series of little images on social
mm,
media,
mm,
and you have to keep going. But then by then you're writing again.
yes,
Um, and then you can then start putting the nice quotes on your book, in your back of your ebook, and
mm,
perhaps get your cover designers to put a nice little thing across the front or something. And
yeah,
then you reload and you can say, oh, I've now put my new version up with a little review on it. I'm so chuffed, etc. So
yeah,
you've got to milk it for all you can.
mm,
And perhaps location pictures, and you've done some of that before.
mm,
You cannot run away from marketing. And the best thing is to set a little plan out. Doesn't have to be an Excel spreadsheet, but
mm,
it can be a little, what am I do? How will I think it's done if I sell 20 books on day one, if I sell 100 books by the end of the month, whatever. You
yes,
don't have to meet those goals, but you have to
no,
put something in front of you.
sure,
So, and I just do bits and things on to keep interest up on a picture or two on Instagram, and I try and post every day on my Facebook personal post, which will be about my life, and
Yeah.
then on my Facebook author page, which will be about my books or Roman history
Mm.
or something female orientated, like the first French woman on the International Space Station, something on all of those themes, which I'm interested in and
Yes.
to do with my book, that sort of thing. And you've got
Yeah.
to keep at it.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Do you do a newsletter? Do you have people who
I've done
subscribe to your
newsletters
newsletter?
since 2016, yes.
Right.
And you get a
I did some. I had a friend, Caroline Cole, who she does author services now, and
right.
she's the go-to for what if I get because in theory I've semi-retired, so I'm only taking contemporary women's, and non-fiction about writing, which is what I write.
Yeah,
And then I have Jane, who does children's LGBTQT and YA. Then Caroline Cole, who does historical,
right.
um, and pretty much everything actually,
Mm,
non-fiction. And then Graham, who's my editor, and he does
right.
sci-fi, fantasy, ghostwriting, and proofreading.
So it's
And
quite
so
a range.
they are the three people I send people to if it's not something I do.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a week after I decided to do that, I came up with the idea of this book festival.
Oh, well, there
So
you
I've
are.
been knee deep in that ever since.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's been
yeah.
wonderful. It's been
Oh, well.
wonderful.
Well, it was a good day. It was most
It
enjoyable. I
was.
put the
Yeah.
two, my two panels on my Facebook author page,
Oh,
so I
great.
don't know, and tagged you, so I don't know
Okay,
whether
thank you.
but that's another thing is tagging other people
Mm,
and reviewing other people's books because you
mm,
know how important it is to you. And
mm.
if you can review one of theirs, they're much more likely to review one of yours and have you as a blog guest or a little bit
Yes.
of tit for tat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
quite often there are newsletter swaps. So
yes,
you have, yes. So you mentioned somebody else has got a new book in your newsletter, and they mentioned that you've got a
absolutely.
new book in.
Yeah. I
Then
have a book
I
spot for
I
others.
used to do reviews, but my trouble is that because I'm an editor, I can't take my editor's hat off.
Right.
And also, it just takes so much time. It's two
Yeah.
busman's holiday, so I don't actually read novels for pleasure. I read collections of short stories because
All right. Okay.
they're
Hmm.
over before I can get too picky. Doesn't stop
Yeah.
me being picky, but um, anyway, and they are my first love. If I could just write short stories,
You
um,
would.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you're right. If you write, you're slightly ruined as a reader because you think, oh, for goodness sake. And we
yeah,
all make mistakes. We all have typos. There is no perfect book.
mm,
I mean, sometimes it's near perfect, but you always see something, and with that, we can't help it. But if it's really, really bad, no.
See, I've not left reviews before where I've really not got on with
Mm.
something.
Oh no,
But
I
the fact
all the
that you were
time.
very picky with the film you went to see,
Yeah.
and I did when you mentioned about going to the cinema and seeing, you said it was an airport read, so I'm guessing it wasn't Robert Harris, but Robert
No,
Harris popped into my brain
no, it wasn't Robert Harris.
when you mentioned going to see the
Yeah, no,
film set in Rome.
no, no, it wasn't that one. I'm not going to say which one, so I don't want to
No,
get
no, that's
sued.
okay. No, that's absolutely fine. The thing is, 50 Shades of Grey. Look how
Fantastically well.
editing really well. And I
Yeah,
say when I'm editing, I say I edit for the 100th reader because
yeah,
99 readers won't notice, but there'll always be
yeah.
someone who
There'll be
does.
somebody.
And
Yeah,
it's my job to make sure that I capture as much as I
yeah,
can
yeah,
for that 100th reader.
absolutely. I mean, I couldn't publish without an editor
Yeah,
because boy, do
I
they
don't
catch
think anybody
things.
should.
Yeah, I mean, Denise is pretty bad, pretty on the. She sees anything, but even she doesn't see everything,
No,
and she does the
as many
same.
eyes as yeah, as many
Yes.
eyes as possible. This is why
Yeah.
I have beta readers that I need to get in contact with because I'm way behind
Oh,
contacting my beta
don't.
readers. So when you're not writing and editing and marketing and so on, what do you do for? pleasure.
Oh,
Being
sleep
an
and eat.
hour, being an
Sleep and eat.
hour south of the Loire Valley.
Yeah, I sleep and eat.
Right.
What else do I do? Yeah, I'm very fond of jigsaws.
Oh yes.
I absolutely love it. And um, Caroline from the UK Crime Book Club and I keep posting jigsaws we've done. We're
Right.
terrible. Um,
And
we
are you
walk.
a thousand
Oh,
thousand
yes, I'm a
feet?
thousand,
Yeah.
minimum thousand.
Right.
Um, we walk, I garden, I swim.
Mhm.
Um, I'm interested in looking and traveling as well. I enjoy the travel because I come back to the UK and do talks and stuff at conferences or go and, other events.
Yeah.
So, and we have family still in the UK.
Yeah.
I, Last year, Anna Belfrage, who also writes historical fiction, we both went to Dresden just for a few days because
Right.
she read about Dresden in, let me find it. Here we are.
Oh
This
yeah.
one, Double Stakes.
Right.
And she said, what is this place called Saxon Switzerland in Eastern Germany? I said,
Mm.
they called it that because it looks like Switzerland.
Oh wow.
And she says, you've got this scene, several scenes in Dresden and the area. She says, I must go there. I said, well, why don't we? So we did.
Absolutely.
We had the most
Yeah.
fantastic walking. She's a big walker.
Right.
And we had a fantastic time. Went in all the places mentioned in the book, of course,
Right.
because the book deals with the rise of, in our heroine, of course, and there's a quest. The background is the rise of the right wing and the danger it is,
Oh.
especially in Germany, in Eastern Germany. That's not the whole plot, but there are some scenes there.
Mm.
And she was intrigued, 'cause I love Germany. She was intrigued. And so we did that. That's quite nice. And sometimes I pop off here and there just for, to do that.
Ja.
So, yeah,
Kannst du,
travel, I suppose.
kannst du Deutsch sprechen?
Ja, 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 das war meine
Ah,
zweite Fremdsprache.
ah, ich, ich sage, mein Deutsch ist rustig, which
Lustig.
doesn't mean anything to Germans that it's rusty
No,
because
you could,
it's not a literal. This is we were talking about this earlier on about not
yeah,
being able to translate
yeah.
because one word it doesn't mean the same. It's a
No,
slang,
it has
isn't
different
it?
connotations. You say,
Yeah,
ich habe so viel vergessen,
yeah,
das schäme
yeah,
ich.
yeah.
I'm embarrassed, I've
Right.
forgotten so much.
Right. No,
But
I find whenever I go there, and I've got friends over there in the south, in the
mm,
Schwarzwald,
oh
that
Lord, yeah,
that I pick it back up again. But
you do, but you're
again,
going to come back.
hearing them chat, and
Yeah,
also they've got the dialect.
very strong
Um,
accent down there.
yes,
I
exactly.
learnt my German in northern Germany more, but
Okay.
we went to Austria the other year, to Austria and Slovenia, which is basically where Roma Nova is in my series.
Ah,
It's in that part of the world.
okay.
And part of the Roman province of Noricum, which was sort of basically what I founded,
Mm,
I based Roma Nova on.
right.
Some of it was near Klagenfurt, so we went there for a day, and there is the site of Verunum. You're looking out what my character will be looking at.
Wow.
There is the basic hill that they have done excavations, and I
Mm,
applied to the local museum to visit the amphitheatre and all the rest of it.
wow.
And we stayed there for about just over a week. Yeah, just over a week.
Mm,
And I had to sort of try and remember the accent, if you like. It's a like broad Scots for
right.
English speakers.
Right.
I got into it quite well after a
Yeah.
while, but
Yeah.
having that North German accent doesn't always endear you to Austrian
Right.
people.
Right.
Quite funny.
Yeah. So what are you writing at the moment? Stroke, what are you planning next? I don't know how far you are in your
Right.
current
Well,
character project.
I published the double stakes, the third mel
Mm,
this year. And sorry, last year, beg your pardon. Oh,
mm,
we're in 2026.
yeah.
Um, and then this time I've been writing Roma Nova, but I've written three stories which come to around 70, 80,000.
Okay.
So I'm publishing those, and it's three different women over 3 centuries, and they've got three reckonings to make. So, and
Right.
I scratch my head for what to call it. And
Mm,
so, of course, I asked all my writing friends.
Mm.
Okay, come on, guys. Some of you read him. You know my work. Here's the
Yeah.
synopsis. Here's the three characters, the
Right.
three stories. Give me some ideas. And we all do this amongst our group.
Okay.
And they came up with Heroica because her gives
Ah.
the female
Right.
Heroica. It's heroics,
Okay.
in that they all do something courageous.
Mm.
So that's
Perfect.
that's coming out spring, whenever spring
Okay.
is.
Well,
When it stops raining.
we were talking before before I hit record, the fact that my husband Tim is wants to go and visit. Well, I don't think they'll be there. Go to a friend's house in France, in Spain, an hour north of Malaga, and he wants to go in the spring. But because
Yeah.
I've got the in-person festival,
Ah,
26th of April, I think
yeah,
we'll probably go in May. So spring may be
yeah, yeah.
expanding a little. A little, although I think it's not summer really until we have the
Oh
equinox.
no, but I wouldn't leave it any later than May if you
No,
don't, if you're not terribly thrilled about heat because it does get a
yeah,
bit warm down there. I
yes.
mean, we got up to 40 degrees last summer here.
Wow. Wow.
Lord knows what it was like for them there. I mean, it's
No.
45, 48 in Spain up on the Meseta.
Wow.
Shocking.
Well, they're up in the hills.
Mm, that's
Um,
better.
so yes. But even
Yeah,
so,
bit
yes. But
warm.
we're just exactly. Yes. No, I'd rather be warm than cold. Tim loves skiing, so
Uh-huh.
I'd rather be warm than
No,
cold. But
no.
there's if it's too cold to go and do things, it's too hot to go and do things, then
Yeah,
it,
stay indoors.
no,
Stay
exactly.
indoors and write.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yes, definitely take my laptop and
Oh
do.
yeah, yeah,
He's a big reader. He reads.
yeah.
He loves science fiction, fantasy.
Oh right.
So he'll be sitting in on the 5 p.m. He's going to be running the bookshop in April with the selling the
Okay.
tote bags
Yeah,
and all the authors' books,
that's
and
good.
so I've given him an hour off so he can go and sit in at 5 o'clock for the sci-fi fantasy horror panel.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be running the bookshop for
Well,
that
he does
on
that.
behalf of him.
Well, if he's at all interested in alternative history, may I
Oh, he
possibly
loves, yes, he loves
put
history.
him put
Definitely
him
point
towards
you.
this
Yeah.
lot?
Absolutely. No,
That
he loves history.
Yeah, there's one book of four featuring Karina, that one. There's four
Okay.
more books featuring her grandmother 20 odd years, no, hang on, 25, 30 years before as a
Mm,
young woman.
right.
And then there's two full historicals. So,
Okay.
plenty.
Yes. Well, he loves Clive Cussler,
Oh, yes.
Robert
Oh,
Harris,
yeah.
um,
Robert
the
Hoodlum,
one he's got, Ludlum,
Ludlum.
yes.
Yeah, sorry, Ludlum.
There's Wilbur Smith,
Yeah.
the one who's got a revelation. I can't remember his name now, but his brother gave him the whole series.
Well, that's Lee
They've
Child,
all
isn't it?
got no. They've it's historical. They've all got one word titles. I'll have to think of it and put
Oh,
it in the notes.
Chris, he wrote Dominion, C.J.
Yes, that's the
Sansom.
one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Oh,
Yes.
Dominion is really good.
Okay.
That's
Well, he,
alternate history, but that was really, really good.
right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like that.
it's interesting you say about publishers, about authors being able to get away with things because they're well known already. I
Yeah.
know that I don't know. I've never been. I'd love to meet Kate Atkinson, but
Mm,
her third book was a collection of short stories. So she had
mm,
Behind the Scenes at the Museum, then Human Croquet, and then
yeah.
Not the End of the World was a
Ah,
collection of short stories.
yeah.
Toby Litt, his third book was a collection of short stories, and
Mm,
I met him at it was a writing conference for teachers who teach creative
yeah.
writing in Uxbridge, and I said to him, "How did you get the collection of short stories
Mm.
published?" And he said, "I had got a 3 book deal." And I would only sign it if they would agree that the third one would be a
Ah,
collection of
right.
short
Yeah.
stories. So it may or may not be a coincidence that Kate Atkinson's third book was a collection of short
Ah,
stories.
that's what it could be. Yeah. Of
Um,
course, we've got complete and total freedom to do that. And
absolutely.
I've joined in. That was published by the historical writers, but I
Mm,
did 1066 upside down.
okay.
We had, what was that one? This one is Fate, and then that's Rubicon, then Tales of Exile. So
Right.
you can exercise different writing muscles.
Mm.
And I refuse to do short stories because I'm a long form writer, and
Right.
Helen Hollick, who masterminded
Yes.
1066,
Yeah.
said, no, no, you've got to do one. It's alternate history.
Right.
You're the alternate history person. I said,
Absolutely.
oh, no, no, no. Yeah,
Right.
just do it. And I
You
said,
did.
I can't write 2,000 words. It's far too. She says, I'll give you 5,000.
Okay.
And I did it.
Yeah.
But you need to do as much research for a short story, if you're doing a historical one,
Mm.
as you do for a full book.
Yeah.
Not perhaps not quite as much, but you still need to
Know
get
your
into the
stuff.
mindset.
Yes. Yeah. No,
So
I love
yeah.
short stories. See, 2,000 words even is quite long for me.
Oh,
I've got two collections of short stories. I don't even know actually how long the longest one is, but the
yeah.
first collection, Flashes, they go up to 500 words, and then the
Okay.
second lot, Shorts, they're 501 onwards.
Yeah.
And I think probably the longest one in that is about no more than 1,500, something
I'm
like
just trying
that.
to think. I did some Roma Nova ones called Roma Nova Extra
Oh, yes. Oh,
after I'd
yeah.
done Helen's, and I thought,
Right.
oh, I can do short stories now. But
Yes.
some are short and some are not.
Right.
But well, they're not super long. I think the longest is 8,000.
Okay. And
But
do you give away anything for people signing up to your newsletter?
I do.
This is where
I
short stories come in handy.
I give away the prequel
Right.
to the Mel series.
Okay.
I give it, and that's only available certainly at the moment to people signing up. And
Right.
that was her last mission in the French army.
Okay.
And it gives people the context, if you like,
Go on.
for the very first double identity. But it's a complete story, obviously.
Yes. Okay.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
and then I also it's got two stories, and the other one is a Roma Nova one.
Right.
So you get two Karina and Conrad's Roman holiday, which is a
Right.
bit of an allusion to the Audrey Hepburn Gregory
Oh,
Peck
nice.
one,
Yeah.
when nobody's Roman holiday turns out how you think it's going.
No.
So that's the other one. So people get a flavour of both series.
Yeah. And do you do one newsletter for, because you write two different
Yeah.
styles of, do you do two different newsletters or one
Well,
as
they're
you?
all thrillers. So
Right.
I keep very much on this is my world of thrillers,
Yes.
different sorts of thrillers.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I do one newsletter for both, and I do
They're
that
much
once a
easier.
month. Yeah, I
Well,
do it once a month.
I've said, because I stopped over COVID, elderly mother, lost my mum, lost my aunt,
Oh.
now looking after my uncle, and so I had so much going on. And Caroline was helping at the time, and then she's gone off to do other things. And
Mm.
I'm
Takes a
back.
lot of doing. It's a whole day's
It
work.
does. It's yes, and I really I keep every day I get our electronic friend reminding me that I need to go back and go to, because I still have quite a few people signing up, and
Hmm.
I need to go back and get myself more organized. So I have my old
Hmm.
Excel spreadsheet that I just need to update and add to and start creating these things. But I have people signed up to three newsletters: one for crime, one for women's
Oh
fiction, one for
gosh.
non-fiction.
Well, they are
So I've,
quite separate, aren't they?
they are, yes.
Yeah, where
So
thrillers are thrillers.
exactly.
I
Yes.
mean,
Very, very wise.
yeah, I get put important Roman events in, like
Mm,
Saturnalia or Lupercalia for instead of Valentine's Day.
right.
Then you'll also get a bit about France for Mel's thing.
Yes.
I try because I think people need variety.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
you don't want to bore people.
No, no.
Yeah,
But
so
it's then me finding content. I've just recently started back up. I joined TikTok in August 2024, and
interesting.
put at the time I think there were 20 or 21 of these spotlights, and I so my first TikTok was a little video advertising the spotlight,
Okay.
directing people to there. And then I literally hadn't done anything since until January this year, so 18
Mhm.
months ish. And then I thought, right, I must go back and do TikTok, and was delighted that I had something like 700 followers.
Wow.
Oh no, I think it was 300 and something followers. And without me, and I at the
You
time, I
haven't
think I
done
was
anything.
following 5 people. So it looks like, I mean, not important because the 200 and something followers, you know, have been 2 million or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that
That's
I'm
good.
I'm very selective and I'm only following however many,
Oh,
five or
yeah.
six
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
but only because I hadn't been on there. And so now
Mm.
I'm following more, but I'm still getting 200 and something views every
Yeah.
day from these
Good.
followers
Yeah.
that I have, which is brilliant. So now I'm posting every day. And I
Right.
do just a good morning TikTok and on my
Here I
dog
am.
walk,
Yeah.
in the morning,
Yeah.
talking about whatever's going on at the time. But again, it's I can do it because I'm on my dog walk. But then when I get back to my desk, it's kind of I've got so many other things to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
utilizing every
I
minute
think
that we
I
have.
think that's the thing, not to it's to choose what you think appeals or where you think your people are, your readers. And
Yes.
I don't write for youth readers, if you like. My
No.
main demographic is 30 to 65 plus more, but I have got readers of 16, but then there's
Yes.
not very many of them.
No.
So so Facebook is my prime and mailing list and a
Yes.
newsletter.
Yes.
I haven't gone onto TikTok. I thought, oh God, no. It's one more thing to do, although I
It
believe it is
is.
extremely popular.
Yes. Well, I kind of think that yes, it takes time, but the more I've said this in other contexts, that if you have a little boutique shop down the side street in a village, only the
Mm,
villagers know that you're there.
mm,
Whereas
mm.
if you have a high street store in 20 cities, then
Yeah,
there's more likelihood of people. This is why, with doing the Self Pub Fest, that if
yeah.
you've got, because you were on 2 panels, so you've got 2 pages,
Mm,
and this will go on my website
right.
as well as the Self Pub at the end of the other 2 videos. And so I think without spreading ourselves too thinly,
Yeah.
the more we're out there. But it
Oh, the
eats,
better.
as you rightly point out, it all eats into our what other things we should be doing
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Um, so that's all it gets. It gets 10 minutes while I'm walking the dog in the morning.
Mm.
And if
I,
it gets some
mm,
traction, but
right.
I mentioned the festival. It's at the moment,
That's good. That's good.
it's everything's going towards the festival
Yeah, yeah. I
to
mean,
get
I do some chats for groups and so on, and when I get round to it, I do put them on, and I've
yeah,
done some for a group, writing group in California, and I top and tail those and
yeah,
put them on, and obviously I'll mention this, and it's all just different little ways, and it really is water dripping from a
it
tap on a
is.
stone.
Absolutely, because you never know who's going to see which thing. I
No,
used to be prolific on Twitter, and I
me
haven't been
too.
on it
Yeah,
for 2 or 3 years.
yeah, it's
Bits and
different.
pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
but
you are.
yes, I think it's. But they say you have to see the same thing 7 times to
That's
really
right.
for it to
Yeah,
sink in. So if you're doing one thing on 7 different platforms, you're going to be less visible than if you're
yes.
putting 7 things on the same.
I think I concentrate on Facebook and on Threads,
Yes,
occasional forays on Blue Sky, and now Twitter
right.
occasionally. I tend to
Yeah.
just recopy onto Twitter. It used to be my main thing,
Mm,
and now I think Threads I have more communication and more fun
right.
with.
Yeah, so
Um,
mine go automatically on threads.
yeah,
So I
and you
get the
have to,
notifications.
yeah, you have to have fun.
Yeah.
And I don't like it all being meta, but it is the most responsive place,
Mm. And
so
that's what it's all about.
I'm afraid so.
Yeah, it's the relationships, which is why I started these spotlights, because
Yeah.
it's not about. I mean, yes, there's one thing about I've got a new book out,
Mm.
and think you might be interested, or if you've read this one, then you might
Try
like the
this.
next
Yeah.
one. And that they say nothing sells your last book like your next one. But it's I'm a nice person. I've written something I believe in.
Yeah.
You might like.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the other thing about being indie. You can write what you want.
Yes.
and the message that you want. I know my friend has to go into deep discussions with her
Right.
trad company
Yes.
about what she's going to write and the way it's going to go, and they want her to do this, and she resists. She
Yes.
sort of behaves almost like an indie, but she
Right.
sells very well. So
Yes.
it's all, and she's got a good agent.
Balance, isn't it?
It's a bit of a balance, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I can think, I think I'll do this.
Yes.
And if it sells a few thousand,
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If people find it and they think, oh, this is a bit interesting,
Mm.
great,
Mm.
because
Because you've got several
they
books,
get
it
it.
helps.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because
Absolutely.
people, I mean, I don't mind starting in the middle of a series, and
Mm.
some people don't. Others like to go back to the beginning.
Yes.
I've got two big entry points for my Roma Nova series, so
Mm.
I always say to people, you can do present or you can go back to the 1960s.
Right.
Which do you want? And
Yeah.
then let people have an option.
Mm.
And I think it does help that as a reader, you think, oh, this is a great author. I want to read everything.
Mm.
I mean, as soon as Lindsay Davis brings out one of her Roman detectives, I buy it.
Right. Yeah. I
It's
used to be the
Pavlov,
same.
you
Stephen
know.
King. Yeah.
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 So, and you invest a lot as a reader in the characters. You think, oh, hello, here's the old friends again.
Yes. Exactly. That's why agents and publishers love series, because
Mm.
readers love series.
Yeah. And you think, oh,
So
what's happened to them since
yeah.
I read about them?
Yeah.
And they're real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you written any standalones, complete standalones?
No.
Right.
I suppose the two historicals, but they were very much linked to the Roman Nova series.
Right.
They're very much there. I call them Roman Nova Foundation series
Right.
because obviously they're in the late fourth century and most of the
Yeah.
rest of it is in the 20s and 21st centuries,
Mm.
but they are linked, obviously.
Yes.
No,
I,
never.
I write I write standalone. So those two are standalones. That's
Okay,
a series of five, The Dog
right.
Detective. Those two are the first and second in a series, and that's I'm behind the camera now. That's One for the Road
Yeah,
is a standalone. But I like, so for instance, After Jessica, the top one.
right.
I love. There's a character in there called Rick who I love, and I'd love to bring him into
Yeah, the
having a
foreground.
story of
Yeah.
his own. But there's something, because I love writing short stories. You've got start, middle, end in one go, and I write it all in one at one
Oh gosh,
time,
right.
pretty much, and then move on to something else. It's a bit like eating. I love buffets. You have a bit of everything, and then you're
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
Not really quite like eating, but I
Yeah,
love
I know.
buffets.
Yeah.
What can I say? And so I love. But equally with writing series, like the Henry ones, there's five of those.
Right.
I remember whether I've got four. I think I've got five. I should know, shouldn't I? And this sixth,
No.
I have the sixth one back from my editor, so I need to go through that and get that out. And the subsequent ones are shorter, which is why
Mm.
there's no version of it up there, because I'm going to put them all in one collection.
Okay. Yeah.
They're about
Yeah.
15, 20,000 each. Put them
But
all
it
in one
depends
collection.
how the story comes. I've in the within the series, I've got
Mm.
two of them are novellas at 35 and 38,000
Mm.
because that's where the story ended.
Yeah.
And sometimes the story will end at 110 and
Mm.
sometimes it'll end at 35. But I when I market them, I do make it absolutely sure that these are novellas. I
Yeah.
always tell people,
Yes.
and it's in the list in the front of the books,
Mm.
brackets novella,
Fellas. Yeah.
so that people
I think
know.
people aren't so. I mean, yes, they want to. Most people want Ken Follett bricks of books because they get it, especially creating worlds as you do,
Hmm.
because they want to get so immersed in it.
Hmm.
But I think if you're reading something on a device, you're not as aware of how
No,
long a
not
book
at all.
is.
Only the
Then
percentage mark, and that's about it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And invariably, even if it's 120,000, they get to the end and go, oh,
Oh, oh.
you would hope they
Well,
get
you
to the
hope.
end and go, well, yes, that's a fantastic book, but
Yeah.
also, oh, I didn't want it to end.
Hmm. I'm going to read the last chapter again. I do that. I
Yes,
read the last
do
chapter
you?
again. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple of people from all the in 4 years of teaching for the council up in Northampton, I had to, when I did planning and writing a novel, we'd talk about different people who
Yeah.
read prologues and didn't, and there were two people, I think, in they weren't in the same class, but they would go to a bookshop, they'd read the first page and the last page to see what
Oh,
they did.
oh, I wouldn't
And
read the
then
last
it
page.
was about the journey in between. And whenever I mention that, people are fairly horrified
Yeah,
because
I know. I purposefully don't read the last page.
no,
Hmm.
no, I wouldn't want to either. And
No,
I judge short story competitions, and as a judge, I try to hide the bottom because if there's a twist, it should be as late as possible.
yes.
And so I don't want to see the ending before I get to the end.
Mm.
And
Mm.
also, if I get well, I usually get a few because they're for writing groups and so on. So I get a few at a time, and I sort them out into titles. So the most interesting titles I leave till last because I hope they're going to be the best stories.
Yeah.
And then the ones that say the journey, and I've been guilty of that, of having a story called the journey, which I
Oh,
did
right.
change. And the more normal titles I read first.
Mm.
And quite often, if there's a more inventive title, but you were saying about titles earlier on, and if I'm writing short stories, especially for collections,
Yes.
I very rarely start with a title. I'll start with an idea
Oh, I
or a
never start
character.
with unless
Yeah,
it really hits me.
right.
Yeah.
And I quite often especially if I'm writing quite quickly, if I'm
Mm.
writing a story a day, I often will have written something, or as I'm writing, I come up with there's a phrase, and I think, oh,
Yeah. And
yes,
it
that
just,
would make a
yeah.
perfect title.
Some of mine, I've got the title immediately. And
Right.
other ones, I have to have this big conflab. Now we do it on Zoom and say, what the
Yeah.
hell am I going to call this book? And so we have this big discussion about what's the theme, what's the purpose, why
Right.
have you written it, what are the
Yes.
main, you
Which
know,
you need anyway, up to a point with when you're marketing. It's useful
yes,
to have.
yes. But sometimes, oh God. And
So,
a double pursuit just came straight away because she's pursuing gun runners and then realizes somebody's pursuing her.
oh,
So
perfect.
the first thing is double, obviously, and
Yes.
pursuit, just poof,
Yes.
right, got the title.
Perfect.
Double stakes, it was horrendous.
Oh,
But there was a
but you needed the
gambling,
double.
yeah, there's a gambling element.
Right.
And of course, the high stakes of the political stakes of the right wing winning a crucial election. So you had two lots of stakes. So that was
Yes.
okay. But
Yes.
that took ages to get right.
Right.
So yeah,
Which
titles.
which which of the series are you writing at the moment?
Well, I've published Double Stakes, so now I'm writing Roma Nova. I'm sort of
Yeah.
alternating a
I think
bit.
that's in a way because I find the same. I wrote the first two, they were only novellas, but I then
Right.
wanted something a bit fun. So I like
Yeah,
writing crime and then women's fiction. So it's
yeah.
something quite
It's that
different.
swap thing again.
Yes, although I do tend to I'm terrible. I'm a bit of a magpie for ideas. So
Mm.
I have lots of things that I've started, including a 100 it's just over 100,000 word serial killer.
Gosh.
I call my Eric Morecambe novel.
The book
Where
what you wrote.
well, this is all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order.
Yes. Well, all our
He's
books are, aren't they?
Andrew Preview, Andre
Yeah.
Preview.
Andre
Okay.
Preview. Yeah.
Yes, and it's because I can't decide whether it's definitely not a standalone. I've decided because there's too much of it,
Mm.
but and there's too much going on that's unconnected. That's
Not
unconnected.
part of the, doesn't take the story forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it will, but I don't know whether it'd be a trilogy. It's just something I've got to go back to
Yeah.
and
And go
decide
through.
what I'm going to make of it. And then another one I
Mm.
got halfway through and then got distracted by something else.
Oh
So I
dear.
have I know. Yeah,
Mm.
so I keep saying to Graham, "Oh, I'm going to send you something. I'm going to send you something," and invariably it's another Henry story because I like
Oh
doing those and they're quite short.
yeah.
So
I mean, I think that's why I do the short stories, 'cause for a bit of relief. I think I mean I've written them some of them around the Roman over theme, but some I've just gone completely one, Helen Hollick said, just let your imagination go wild. So I did. But it was Roman.
Right.
Can't get away from Rome, you see.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but it was sort of a time travel-y thing. And it
Right.
was a comic story, it was
Okay.
funny.
Yes.
And that was I quite enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've subscribed to a website called Duotrope,
Okay.
DUOTROPE.com, and I get a newsletter every Sunday morning, and I keep filing it in the Duotrope file. And
Uh-huh.
every now and then, when I'm on my laptop downstairs and we're watching Police Interceptors, that kind of thing, or Richard Osman's House of Games, I'll be typing up or copying and pasting the links and saying what they're for, because it has various submission, either agents that are taking books,
Mm.
or publications that are taking short stories,
Mm.
or competitions to enter. And so my radar is on I'd like to send a story out every week to a
Gosh,
competition. And
that's
I have
very
a
good.
submissions and acceptances, submissions and rejections folders
Right.
to my right, waiting for me to print them off and file them, and so that when the time comes for when they're in the February folder and it gets to next February and I haven't heard anything, then they can do something
Yeah,
else
you
with
think,
them.
perhaps not. I don't know. I
Yes.
mean, I did do competitions and I enjoyed doing those and
Mm,
that was fun. But
yeah.
because I was rubbish at short stories,
Right.
didn't do too. I did a few
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
completely different themes, and that
Right.
was good doing it because it's a
Yeah.
discipline.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to do what you love.
Oh, I think
You love
so.
what you do, so
Yeah, and that's another thing. We're completely free as indies. We
mm,
set our own deadlines. Set our own subjects and topics. We
yes.
get on with it, and
Yeah.
if somebody else likes it, fantastic.
Although there's nothing quite like a pre-order to
Oh no,
get
I
you.
do. I like pre-orders. Some people
Yeah.
say, "Oh, it's not worth it," and
Right.
blah blah blah. But I
Yeah.
think it's really very good for the soul after all that hard work, and you
Yeah.
sort of get it,
Something
and
to look forward to.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you again.
And it's a
And
great pleasure for me.
thank
Yeah,
you. And hopefully have a look at the Monday mini fests, because I think
yeah.
after we had our one day on the 25th of January, I came up with
Mm.
it. Well, it was about one and a bit sessions. I think it was during the crime session.
Oh, right.
I thought I don't want to wait another 6 months to do this. So every Monday, in theory, there's a little mini fest. So do
That's
take a
good.
look and hopefully have you at one or two of those.
Oh, sure. Yeah, just
All right,
contact me
will
and
do.
we'll sort something
Will do.
out. But yeah,
That's great.
pleasure.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you,
Well,
Alison.
thanks very much.
All
I've
right,
had a lovely
you're
time.
very welcome. Good, me too. We can talk, can't we?
We can for Britain
Yeah,
and for the world, really.
absolutely. Thank you. Okay, bye bye.
Okay, thanks, Mum. Bye.